Hello everyone, my name is Shafi. Today in this class, we are going to discuss about managing user accounts in CUCM. Okay, let's see what chapter objectives we have. So first, the overview of the CUCM user account, CUCM user account types, user privileges, user management. Okay, so now the question is here, why we require users in call manager? Here we have, it's an IP telephony infrastructure. So we required IP phones here, either physical phone or soft phone, this one. But why we required usernames here? Why we have to be configure the usernames? What is the use of the usernames here into the call manager? Sorry. So users, it's mandatory here also, and we required the users here because you have installed the call manager. How you are going to access that? There are two methods available. One with the command line, another with the graphical here, this one. But authentication is required for security reason. So you have to log in with command line also, you have to log in with the graphical also. So while installation of the CUCM, we have created two users. One is the admin account, another is the application account, this one. So one thing here, now for example, you have very big infrastructure. Okay, very big infrastructure. Is it possible one user to be manage the entire infrastructure? It's not possible. In that case, what happened this one? We required multiple engineers to manage that one. When there are multiple engineers to manage that one, okay, for every single engineer, we have to create a separate username. Why? Because we have to give the separate privileges. Okay, user one is responsible for configuring the IP phones. User two is responsible for configuring any features. User three is responsible for any kind of implementation, installation. This is how we have to divide the administrative task. Okay, so for that, we require the usernames. Okay, and again, what happened when you have a CUCM, along with the CUCM, you have a different application server like Unity connection, you have IMP server, you have Expressway server, you have, or any other server, you have this one. That has to be integrate with your call manager. When you are integrating, now other application server has to be access the database from the call manager. Again, to access the database, we require some kind of usernames for the authentication. Okay, this is the another reason why we require the usernames. Then after what happened, this one, the username, we are configuring some features. Okay, to access that features, always you will be authenticating by username with username and password or username or PIN number, that one. Example, voicemail, we have configured this one. For the voicemail, you require username. How you can be configure the voicemail? Username is required. Jabber you have configured, username is required. To register the phone, username is required. To configure any feature like SNR feature, extension mobility, username is required. So these are the different reasons, okay, why we require the usernames. Several CUCF features require user account for authentication purpose. These features include an administrative web page, user web page, and following application. Means you want to be logged into the call manager as an administrator, as a user, that one. Okay. See, Cisco Unified Attendant Console. That's another product actually. Like how Call Manager, Unity Connection, Voice Gateway, IMP Server. These are the product. There is a separate product we have, Unified Attendant Console. Why we use this one? For example, very small organization we have. Any customer call comes. First, it has to be come to the reception. Okay. Now, reception, the whoever is sitting in the reception, the user, he or she, they can be monitor that. What they can monitor? Okay. Internally, how many users are available? What is the status of that user? Whether that user is online, offline, busy, meeting, every status can look. Now, the new call is coming. So the reception is going to be answer the call. After that one, that call is going to be forward. How the user is going to be forward depend on which user is available. Okay, for that we require one separate server that is called unified attendant console. Okay. Next, extension mobility. This is the feature. See, for the user in a company, they will not provide a dedicated IP phone. Okay. For example, today I'm sitting here in this desk. Okay. In this desk, there is one IP phone. This is not my dedicated place to sit here. What I can do this one. So there is one phone, dummy phone here. I can be login in this one. Okay. By using the username and PIN number, I log in. Whatever the profile is configured to me, like extension, whatever the other, I'll get it in this phone. Tomorrow, I'm sitting in another desk. There another IP phone, we have this one. Now I'm logging into that phone. Okay, again, it will be download my profile from the call manager to that phone. So I can sit in anywhere and I can able to be login. For that, we require one feature called extension mobility, that one. Okay. That's generally what happen in this type of feature where we configure. Sometimes they'll be not provide a dedicated place to sit for the users, or sometimes user will be roaming. Okay, maybe you'll be having 2, 3 office. Example, you have one office in Electronic City, one office in Manyata Tech Park. Sometimes you'll be logging from Manyata, sometimes from Electronic City. In that case, what happens is not possible to be provided. Now, when I'm logging here and there, everywhere I have to be access my profile. So I can be go anywhere and I can be accessed. So for that, we can be configure the extension mobility. Or sometimes what happen this one, you will be having a dedicated place. Okay. So I'm sitting here every day, 8 hours. There is a one phone. I can be log in my profile. So after I log out, there will be another user is coming. Okay. Now that user can be used the same desk, same phone. Okay. So that user can be used his or her the profile. They can be logged in here this one. So that's how this is a different scenarios where we are going to be configure the extension mobility. Yes, again there is a separate topic. I'm going to take the extension mobility. I'm going to explain what is the extension mobility, how it works, how to configure practicals, everything we are going to do that one. Okay. Next, single number reachability. This is another feature. Okay. So for me, it's configured an IP phone. Phone is ringing, my desk phone, but I am not available on the desk to answer. Example, we have set like this after 10 seconds. If no one is answering, then the call has to be the ring on my mobile phone also. Okay, mobile phone in the sense that is the call forward option we have. Now here in the single number reachability, what happens simultaneously now both the phones is going to ring. Even my desk phone is going to ring, my mobile phone also is going to be ring this one. I can be answered from anywhere that one. That's called single number reachability. Yes, again, we are going to be do the practicals and we'll be discussing in detail about what exactly SNR, how we can configure and everything. We'll see that one. Voicemail. Okay, if you want to be configure the voicemail, for example, I'm not available. Now it has to be get an option to leave the voice message. Okay, for that, again, users are required. If there is no user, so it's not possible to create a voicemail. Agents to handle customer call. Okay, you take any call center. Okay, you are calling to the toll-free number. After that, IVR you are getting welcome to ABC, welcome greeting, it's playing. After it's asking to give the inputs, press 1, press 2, press 3. You are pressing. Based on that, okay, please hold on. It'll be go to the again the call into the queue. After that, music on hold you'll be getting. After that one, if the agent is available, answer that one. Again, for that agent also to answer the call, username is required. Okay. So for that agent to handle customer call also we require the username. See, these are the different reasons why we require for Cisco IP phones. Yes. Now what happened earlier, to register your IP phone, the user is mandatory. Yes, even if there is no username also, what we can do this one, we can be register the phone by selecting anonymous here. But again, what we have a concept of licensing. Okay. To get that licensing, to use it of the proper licensing, always we have to be associate the phone with the user. Okay, that is the one thing. And also what happened, if you remember, Sorry. User can log into the call manager. Some basic setting user itself can be done. Okay. Again, user is logging to the call manager. How the user is logging to the call manager? Based on the what to say, username and password. If you want to be logged into the call manager to authenticate, again, what you require? Username and password is required. So for this also, again, the usernames we have to be created. Got it? Why we require the users? Okay, now there are two types of users we have in the call manager. One is the end user. Generally, till now, whatever we have discussed, to configure for all these things, any feature or anything or IP phone and anything, that one, attendant console, agents, always we go with the end users. Okay. And it's associated individual. Okay. Again, there are a lot of something definition. I'm not reading that one. Okay. Understand that one. Any feature you want to be configured in the call manager, which user you have to create? End user. There is another user, we have the application user, this one. What is this application? When you have installed your call manager, while installing, you have created the usernames, two usernames. One is the administrator you have, and another one is the application. Okay. That comes under the application. Always to log into your call manager in the first step. Okay. Application user. Later, you can create application user for different purpose. It's not like level 0, level 1. That is the administrator, level 0, level 1, that one. Here, application user, why we configure? To authenticate from the call manager to any other application server. Okay. For example, you have contact center or you have UCCX, UCC, or any other server. That server has to be, okay, access the database of the call manager. For that authentication, we require the application username. So that is how we require. But in today's class, we are going to concentrate completely on the end user, because today we are not creating any application user. Later, when we do the different practicals, example, to say when I'm going to take the UCCX also, the contact center, in that I'm going to show you, or some other features when we are going to be configure, I'll show you that one, why we are using that one, in which scenario we are using an application user. But today we concentrate completely on the end user, this one. Next, the user privileges we have. Once you create a username, what happens? By default, there will be no permission to that user. You have to give the permission, that one. Okay, how you can be provide the permission? Okay, the privilege, provide the permission, the privileges or permissions. So by using the roles and groups. Okay, again, I'm not reading. You'll be getting the confused. I'll just go to the next slide where I can explain easily on this one. Example here. Sorry, guys. This is the users, user 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Once you create the users, by default, you don't have any permission. By default, you don't have any permission. Then you have the groups. By default, in call manager, we have already groups. If you want to create your own group, that means it's not like own customizing the group, that one. Okay. So for example, group 1 we have, group 2 we have this one. What happened here, depend on the group. Every group you will be getting the role. Understand? Every group will be having some roles. Maybe it will be having one role, two roles, or three roles. Depend on what type of group you are selecting. Okay. Under that role, you will be having the resources. There is a one group. Under that group, you have the role. It can be multiple role or single role. Under that role, you have the resources, where you will be having the permission for that resource. Whether you have read permission, write permission, what permission you have, like this one. Okay. Now group 1, for example, under the group 1, we have two roles. Role 1, role 2. Okay. Now user 1, we have created user 1. This group 1 we are associating to user 1. That means now user 1 can go to the group 1. Under this group, how many roles we have? Two roles we have. Now this user 1, This user one can access all these resources, because when it is coming to the group one, role one resources also can access, role two resources can also access here. This is how you can give the permission. Okay. Now, if you take this group three, sorry, user three, okay, I can able to access all the resources, because user three is the part of the group one also, group two also. Under the group one, I can able to access role one, role two. Under the group two, I can access role three here, this one. Now, one single user can associate multiple groups. Multiple group. There is no condition that one user, only one group. How many groups you want to be associate, you can be associate. And one single group can associate multiple roles. Under one group, multiple roles we can be associate. One single user, multiple groups you can be associate. One single group, multiple roles can be associate, this one. That's how we have the concept, how you are going to give the permission here. Maybe majority you may are not understanding, maybe it's getting bounce here, this one. When we do the practicals, you'll understand clearly this one. Okay. Groups, roles, we have this one. If you want to create, by default we have roles and groups, not required to be create a new one. Okay. If you want to customize, you can customize this one. It's depend here. Most of the time we go with the existing group only. We are not going to be create anything. Just we change the name. That's it. Okay. That's how we have. So you'll be understand when we do the practicals here in this one. Okay. How I'm going to give the permission and everything. Then in that, you'll be understanding that one. It's not like all resources will not come. Depend on the role it comes. You can give the multiple roles. Single group, multiple roles you can associate if you want. No, that is what administrative is distributed. Suppose you are providing everything, that one means you are giving every permission. Okay. In that one, if you want to give the completely full permission, give the how many groups you have, give the access to all the groups. Give the access to all the groups, then you have all the permission. They're not required to create, right? Okay. User management means how many methods available to be create the users here. One with the CUCM administration. That means you can log into the call manager manually. You can create the user. Second one is the BAT tool, bulk administration tool. Okay, with the BAT tool, we can also register IP phones. We can also create the users. Now with this BAT, not only IP phone and user, there are many other things we can do it. Okay, many other gateways, many other features we can be configured by using the BAT here. And the third one is LDAP integration, LDAP V3, that's a version 3, that one. Okay, that's the integration. Now I'm going to skip the BAT because uh, that Excel is not working in my laptop. So we'll go first the CUCM administration. Then we go with the LDAP also. In a production, we'll be having the LDAP. You go to any company, okay, every company will be having the LDAP. What is that LDAP and everything we'll discuss. Okay. Now I'm going to jump to my call manager. Okay. I'm going to log in. Already in the last class, I have created some users, if you remember on that one, right? Okay. To create the users, go to the user management. See, these are two types, application user, end user we have. Now we are creating the end user. I'll just show you the application user. By default, some users are created. That's called default users. See here, by default, some users we have for different purpose. If you remember this admin GUI, okay, and this default user is not possible to delete. See, we don't have any option to select that user and delete that one. Okay. Now you can create your own application user and do it that one. Now I'm not creating any application user because even I create this one, now we are not using of that application user anywhere here. Or see, if you go to the admin GUI, that is an application user which we have created while the installation, that one. If you scroll down, can you see this one? The groups, roles, standard audit users, standard CUCM, super user. I'm the super user. Super user means we'll be having all the permissions. That is how permissions we give. Okay. Groups, roles. See, roles we are not selecting. Actually, we are selecting the groups. By default, under every group, there will be some roles that comes under that one. Okay. Now, again, I go to the end user. Hmm? Yeah. Can you see this one password? Okay, fine. I think two users or one or two users we have already created that one. Okay, one is the Ishappa, another one is Satish K here, this one. Now, I'm going to create a new user. So here, there are many parameters. One mandatory, we require user ID. See, wherever if it is a star, that it's a mandatory. Last name is mandatory here. Okay. Now the user ID, I'm going to be create. Okay. Before creating the username, I'm going to give the first name. Arbaz Khan. Okay. Arbaz. Then last name is Khan. So I'll give A Khan. How user ID will be creating depend on the company. First name, first letter I'm taking, and the last name, full name I'm taking. A Khan. This is how. Or sometimes what happen here? Sometimes what happen here? They take first letter, first name 3 letters, last name 3 letters. That's company will be having some policy how they want to be create the username. But here I'm taking first name, first letter, and full last name. A Khan I'm taking, and the password I'm setting Cisco. Cisco. Okay. And PIN number also we have 1234. 1234. Now, what is the difference between the password and the PIN number here? This one. Why we are configuring the password and PIN number? Because whenever if the user is logging on the IP phone, whatever the reason, whatever the feature, okay. If the user is logging on the IP phone, then we don't have password there. We have the PIN number. Okay. If the user is logging to the web browser, then password is required. So that is the reason we are configuring, we are setting password as well as PIN number. Okay. I don't have any middle name, display name. Display should be Arbaz Khan. Title, for an example, support engineer, or I can give like this one, technical support engineer. Telephone number, okay. Uh, what number you are going to be configured for this user? What is the home number? Okay, every information, mobile number, mail ID. Okay, example, A Khan at shazak.com. For example, my company is Shazak, there is own domain. Okay, who is manager, user ID, department, IT. manager Kuber Das. Okay, something is getting. Okay, this is how what you can do. You can provide the basic information. After that, if you scroll down, all these options we have when you apply the different features. Okay, example, extension mobility. Okay, and here below, directory number we have for voicemail, mobility for SNR, MLPP. Okay, generally we will not use any MLPP here. Conferencing. This is how for different feature when you are conferring to apply there, we have the option. Now I'm going to save this one. Okay, now I have created one user, A Khan, Arbaz Khan. That's it. That's how you can be create the end user. A Khan I have created. Now, what is the use of this user now? Okay. Now I'll go to the phones. Whatever the phones we have, this one. Okay. For example, phone also we are going to configure for the user, right? I will be associate that to this one. Now, already we have many, this one. Here there is one phone here, auto something. This phone I'm going to be configured to this user, Arbaz Khan. Okay. Now here what I'm going to do, I'll remove this auto. Arbaz Khan. I'll just copy this. I'm going to save this under the headquarter. Okay. Then save this one. Also on the line page, I'm going to change the alert name, all these things. If you remember, description. Okay, and then also I'll just scroll down here. Okay, I'll save this one. No, I am just configuring this phone for this user. Now what you can do this one on the device page, if you scroll down, so we have select anonymous, right? Now user you can go and you can select that A Khan. Got it? This is the one thing. Okay. And one more thing, this phone has to be associate under the end user also. We'll just apply that configuration. Now I'll go to the end user page, go to the icon here. Okay. What I'm giving here, I'm associating this one. I'll just scroll down here. Device information, control devices. I don't have any device. Now go to the device association. Find. Okay, this is the phone, right? We have configured. See here, very less phones we have. We am selecting fine, but in production, it's not like that. Always use the filtering. Filtering is very important. You should be know how to use any filtering when you use. For an example, always I just go with the contains here. Okay, not begins with. Here you want to search with the name, description, or directory number. So I'll search with the directory number or description here. This one. But you should be know the name or somewhere you copy that one. For example, description contains Arbaz. See, Arbaz coming. Because there are hundreds of phones, thousands of phones will be there. If you simply find searching manually, it's very difficult, that one. Okay. So always use the filtering. Okay. So I'm selecting this phone, save selected changes. Okay. Then again, from the related links, I'm selecting on the go. Again, it will be taking me to the user page. Again, here I have to save this one. If you are not saving, it will not get associated properly. Okay. After save, now if you scroll down here, can you see this one? Now this device is associated to this user. Now this user can log into the call manager and relate it to this phone some basic changes like call forward and everything, reset the password, PIN number, call forward, everything can be done. Now not required to be contact always the administrator here. Okay. So that is how we can be do this one. Now what we can do this one, I'm going to be bring my phone. So now you can see it's configured. Arbaz Khan. My phone is up here in this one. Now what I'll do here, this one, I'll just log out here. Here, see, IP address slash CCM admin. That means I have logged in as what? Administrator here, this one. I'll just type the IP address. Now, always we are logging to the Unified Communication Manager, right? Now I'll be logging to the self-care portal. Self-care portal, we're giving the permission for the normal users. So now select the self-care portal where the normal end users can be accessed. See, what is the username? Ye Khan. Okay, password Cisco here. Login. Oh, it's giving error. Can you see this one? You do not have the required privileges. We just created a username, but we have not given any permission. Right? You remember now groups, roles. Now we have to give the permission here, this one. So now here, see, I'm logging as UCM user, but I have to log in as what? Admin here. I'll just go back. Okay. If you go to the user management, user settings, see here we have roles and groups. Can you see this one? Example, I'll go to the groups first, then I'll go to the roles. Okay. By default, we have the groups. Can you see this one? 29 groups we have this one. Can you see this one? These are the groups. Every group having the roles. For an example, I'll take this one, admin third party API, first one. See the roles. If you want to see what roles is associated under the group, you just click on this one. There is no role here for the third party. Okay. Now what I'm going to use here, CCM admin users, I'll take it. Okay, I'll click on this. See, there are three roles. Standard CCM admin user, reporting authentication. Under this role, you have the resources. Okay, let's see standard CCM admin users, right? Here I'm into the roles. Fine. By default, some roles we have. Which role we can find? Standard CCM admin user. Standard CCM admin user. Can you see this one? Okay. This is the role. Okay. Now here we have the application. This we use for the call manager administration. Here there is a description. All user with access to CCM website. Means this role having the permission to log into your call manager as an administrator. As a, okay, standard CCM admin user. I'll just log in into this. Sorry, I'm just getting into that. These are the resources. See, now I am into which role? Standard CCM admin user. These are the resources here. See, generally by default, we have permission. See here, all the resource. Now here you can give the permission, read, update, read. Read means only read, update means write permission. Can you see this one? This is how you want to give the permission for all you can give. See, got it? That's how group roles we have this one. Not required to be create. Yes, customization, something you want to create, you can do. But by default, some groups roles we have, you can go with the same groups here. We are not selecting any role, we are selecting the group. Clear? Now, I'll go to the end user. A Khan. Scroll down here where you have to give the permissions. Groups. So here, add to access control group. If you click on that, it's going to display all the groups. It's going to display all the groups. Now I'm giving permission standard CCM end users. Standard CCM end users. So I'm going to add selected. See this one. Once you save under this group, whatever the roles you have, it will be going to display here, this one. Save. Can you see this one? There are two roles we have this one. After saving, we are getting this one. Now what I'm going to do, we have associate and everything. Now I'm going to log out. See how many phones is configured display. Which phone we have configured? Cisco 7960. Okay. What we have configured? 60120. See, everything we are getting here, this one. Okay. So in this one, you can scroll down. Additional phone, we don't have anything. Phone settings. If you go to the phone setting here, you want to configure any ring setting, something you don't have. Call history, contacts. Here you can see the contact. You can create what services. Generally, we don't have speed dial, something you have configured. All this information we get. Now call forwarding. So now I can forward all the calls to voicemail or number. So here number means generally if anybody dial to this one, call goes to this one. Now not required to be contact the administrator. This is how what we can do this one. We can give the permission for the end users. They can do the basic setting. Now this is the call forward via advanced feature. See, whenever I am busy, not answer, no coverage, then only it has to be forward the calls. This is how we can give. Now this is the phone. Suppose voicemail is configured. Voicemail related things you can do. IM related things you can do here, this one. Now as if now IMP server voicemail we don't have. Only the phones we have. Select on this phone, edit the settings. Okay. So that's how what you can do this one. You can be manage your own account yourself with the by logging to the self-care portal. That one. Clear? This is how you can be create the users and give the permission. So if you want to give the permission for all the users, this permission you can give and they can be logged in here, this one. Now I'm going to log out. Clear? So again, I'm logging as admin. Clear? That's the normal end user for any phone association, any feature configuration we do. Now I want to create one administrator username. Administrator means it's an end user only. but having the permission to log into call manager as an administrator. Okay. Now let's create another user, end user, add new, a user. That's my username. Again, password is Cisco. Pin number 1234. 1234. I'm setting. Last name, user. First name, admin. Display name, admin user. Title, admin IP telephony. Example, the title I'm giving. Okay. That's how we can be provided. I'm going to save. Now for this user not required to associate any phone. Why? Because I'm not managing the phones. I'm logging as an administrator. There I can configure anything, this one. For this, we have to be provide the privileges. Now, if I go to the groups, what permission I had to give? As an admin, I had to give the permission here, this one. Fine. It's going to display all the role. If you remember, standard CUCM end user, this is the role you will be providing for the normal users. Now I have to give the standard CUCM admin users. Can you see this one? Check this. Add selected. Save. Now you can see this one. Admin users, reporting, reporting authentication. 3 roles we have this one. Now I'll just log out. I'm the admin only here, not as a normal. A user. And the password is Cisco. See, I'm logging as the administrator. What is the user here I'm having? A user. Because I have created one user as the administrator. See, many people, they misunderstand the concept here. They think that admin user, sorry, the end user we create only for the users, but to log into the call manager, always we have to create an application. They think like this one. Okay. Because by default, whatever the user we have to log into the call manager, that we have the application username. Okay. But even we create a admin user and we can give the privileges. But if you go to the company, okay, always they create a end user and you will be providing the privileges as the admin, that one. Okay. That you have to be understand. So now here, I'll just go to the device. I'll go to the phone to configure something. It's not possible. User is not authorized to access this page because given permission only to log in call manager as admin, not to do anything there. Even not read only also. We don't have. Even there is no read here. Okay. And see, for example, I'll go to the device pool. Let's see system. Device pool, I'll go. Nothing I'm having. Only permission given to log in as admin. That's it. There nothing, you don't have anything to be check it out this one. Now I have to give the permission. Okay. Now I'm logging admin GUI. We'll go back to the end user. A user. Uh, Here. Add access. Control group. I'm going to search one group. Phone. Standard CUCM phone administration. So that means I'm giving permission for this user to manage the phones. Means you can delete, add, modify for the phones. You can do it. Add selected. Save. Now I've given the permission. Now you just scroll down to see the roles. See, now we got many roles here, this one. Now again, I'll log out. Yeah, user. Cisco is the password. No, you can create application. You can create many application. So now again, I go to the device phone. Earlier, what happened? There was no permission. Now let's see that. Guys, go into mute. Can you see this one? See, now here I have the option add, delete, modify, everything I can do it here in this one. Can you see this one? This is how what I can do this one. Now I can go to the other option where I have only the read access. This time we have the read access. If you have any write access, also you'll get read access. See here, device pool, I have the read access, but I don't have any option to delete, modify, add new, nothing. See, I don't have anywhere here. Add new, where I can add, where I can delete, nothing. Generally, we configure where? Publisher. Why we are logging to the subscriber? Got it? This is how you can create your usernames and provide the privileges. Any doubts? Any questions? That is on command line. There are two user, administrator user we have, right? Level 0, level 1 for the administrator user, not for the application. Command line. For the command line, we use different username. Which username we use? Admin. In the admin 01, if you want to create, you can create that one. But generally, we will not log in to the command line, right? So not required to create a users for the admin. Only user that while installation, whatever the user you have created, that's enough. Why? Because every day you are not logging. Every day you are logging to the call manager. Only for few information to pull, you will be logging. There by default, we have the username that we can be using. Clear? This is how we can create the users manually. Now we have the one more method that is called LDAP integration. What is this LDAP integration? Every company you go, there will be one LDAP server. Every company. Okay. Majority of the companies, they use Microsoft server. Majority of the company, they use what? Microsoft server. Okay. Active Directory. There is server AD. Actually, it's called ADDS, Active Directory Domain Service. This is the Microsoft. So all the users, it's going to create here in the Active Directory. All these users we are creating where? In the Active Directory. The laptop they have provided, that laptop, whatever the laptop or the desktop they have provided, this laptop and desktop also registered under the Active Directory. Okay. So here with this, you provide the single sign-on, SSO. So when you are logging to the laptop, for example, user 1 is created. This we have created in Active Directory. Same user we use to log into your laptop desktop. Same user we use to access the voicemail. Same user we use for everywhere, every time. Got it? So Active Directory, the users will be created. Now we have what? CUCM. Here we have what? CUCM. Now here also we have to create a usernames. Now, since already users are created in the Active Directory, that's mandatory. Whether you will be giving the IP phone or not, at least you are giving the voicemail and laptop to that user, and that user is created in the Active Directory. Now what we can do this one, we can integrate this ADDS with the call manager. we can integrate this Active Directory Windows Server with the call manager. Now you just create the user, automatically that user is going to be import or export. Who is imported? CUCM is going to import, but Active Directory is going to export that user to call manager, that one. So that is what LDAP integration we can say. Why it's a LDAP? To connect this Active Directory, okay, we use one protocol called LDAP. LDAP is a protocol, lightweight directory access protocol. Okay. For example, this machine you have, laptop, this machine communicate to this Active Directory by using this protocol. Server, any device to communicate to the Active Directory server, it use the protocol what? LDAP, lightweight directory access protocol. That's the reason it's called LDAP server, LDAP server. Okay. V3 means version 3. LDAP version 3. Got it? So now I have an Active Directory. I'm going to integrate the CUCM with an Active Directory. I'll create the usernames in the Active Directory. I will get it in the CUCM. Or can we skip this? You don't want, right? See here, already I'm having Active Directory here. That is a Windows server. I'm going to be access that one remotely, RDP. The IP address of that is 142.100.64.17. Okay, RDP, you know, remote desktop, right? You go to the remote desktop, okay, and you can able to be connect that server. Now I have just connected that. I'm just go to the desktop. I'm into this here. So again, this server is going to manage by the Windows admin, not you. Now, not we IP telephone engineers. Okay. Uh, Here I have an option tools. There is an option Active Directory users and computers, where we create all the users, computers, and everything. I'm going to expand that. Okay. One second, guys. I'm just I want to make this screen resolution. Okay. The setting cannot be changed from the remote session. Let it be. Is this visible? Yeah. This one. Anyhow, Active Directory users and computers. This again, Windows admin is going to do, not you. Already there is one. This is called OU. OU, organizational unit. Means one folder you are creating. Generally, it's a folder, but actually technical word is called container. Okay. Under that container, how that container can be created? By using OU, organizational unit. But generally in company, what happen? They create multiple container, multiple OUs. Like sales is different, marketing is different. Why? Because if you remember, if you go to sales, permissions are different, marketing permissions are different, IT permission is different. Now we have a concept of group policy, GPO, in Active Directory. Now they give the permissions there. Okay, sales different permission, marketing. How they can provide the permission for the different groups? By using the group policy. Okay, again, that's a Windows class. Okay, not required to worry about that one, where Windows admin will be take care of this one, all this creation and everything. Okay, see, since already I'm not creating any new OU here. See, my OU name is CUCM users, and also we have created few users we have here in this one. Okay, now you want to be create one user. I'm going to create one user. Right click, new. What do you want to create? User here, this one. Okay, so user, I'm creating user one. Okay, login name is user one at shazak.com. Shazak is my domain, company name, for example. Next, the password is Cisco. Cisco. Here you have option. User must change the password at next logon. I'll uncheck. User cannot change the password. Password never expires. Next, finish. Okay, password policy is coming here. Okay. There is a password policy if it is matching. Okay, user one I have created. This is how you just create a user, this one. Okay. Now we require one more user, administrator. Why? Because to authenticate from the Active Directory to the CUCM, one user has to be synchronized to access the database, right? So that's the reason I have created one user under the users CUCM admin. Can you see this one? CUCM admin. I'll go to the properties, display name, address, account actually. This is the username. CUCM admin at shazak.com. This is actually my username here. Okay. Also, I want to show you one more thing here. This one, we require different permissions here. This one, if you go to member of, see, it should be domain admin. The permission here. This user should be act as the domain admin here. I'll just close. And I don't know the password here. I'm going to reset the password. Right click, reset password. The password CUCM admin has changed. Got it? One administrator username is required, and that should be the member of domain users. Okay. Then we have created one OU. Under the OU, we have created this one. So what is my admin user here? CUCM admin. Okay. Now we'll switch to CUCM. Here, what you have to do, I am integrating this to where? Active Directory. For this, I'll go to the system, LDAP. First, you have to define what type of LDAP server you are using. LDAP system, because we have different types of LDAP server here. See, here you can go on the drop-down box on the LDAP server type, Sun or Oracle directory, Open LDAP, Adam, Microsoft, or any other LDAP server. Now I'm using Microsoft Active Directory here. In the attribute, I'm not changing anything this one. Just I'm going to check this box. Can you see this one? Synchronization. Enable synchronization from LDAP server. Save this one. Means it has to synchronize with Active Directory. We are defining what type of server we are using first. Second, then go to the system, go to the LDAP. There is an option LDAP directory. Okay. When it is, how to contact that Active Directory, that information we have to be provided under the LDAP directory here, this one. Okay. Fine. We don't have any LDAP by default. Add new. Okay. What is the name you want to give? You can give any name here, this one. Okay. AD sync users, any name. I'm just giving AD sync user, Active Directory sync users. LDAP manager distinguished name, admin user. Okay, what is the admin user? CUCM admin. This is the username we have to give. Okay, so here CUCM admin at shazak.com. This is the full FQDN. This is called FQDN, fully qualified domain name. Username at domain name, if you are giving, it's called FQDN, fully qualified domain name, this one. It's not an email ID. This one. Then what is the password? I have said, I have whatever the password you have for this one, the same password, the username. Okay. When it is connecting, communicating, or contacting to an Active Directory, in that Active Directory, there are multiple groups, sorry, multiple OUs we have. Which user I want to be, pull the information from the Active Directory. That information had to be provided under the user search base. Here we have a concept called, okay, it's not CN, it's a OU. OU equals CUCM users, comma, DC equals Shazak, and DC equals com. OU, this is the OU we have, use CUCM user, this is the case sensitive, comma, DC, domain controller Shazak, domain controller.com. This is how the search base we provide. Okay. And this CUCM user, can you see this one? Case sensitive, CUCM user. CUCM U is in uppercase, SCRs in lowercase. It's a case sensitive. Same information we have to provide. See here, CUCM users, and I have provided here. All other information you can leave it blank. Okay. Now here in the scroll down, here in the bottom, what is the IP address of your Active Directory? So IP address is 142.164.17. Okay. My IP address is, see here, 142.164. With that, I am accessing. Or you want to be IP config. So what is my IP address? 142.164.17 here. Can you see this one? So the same IP address, and the port number is 389. LDAP port number, same. Now I am going to save this one. I'm getting error here, this one. Okay. Because if you remember, whenever you do anything, for each and everything, we have to activate some service. To integrate with your LDAP server, Cisco dir sync service has to be activated. If you are not activating, then it's not going to be integrate or sync. Okay. Now for this, I'm going to the serviceability. Purposely I have done that one. Why? Because I wanted to show you, right? Simply if I activate, then you will be not getting error, something, that one. Then go to the tools, service activation. Select the server, go. So if you scroll down, just go dir sync. Can you see this one? Dir means directory synchronization. Check this, save this one. Now that service is activated, let's see. It's activated here. Now here, I'm saving this one. See, updated successfully here, this one. Okay. Now you have to perform the synchronization. Actually, what happened by default, perform resynchronization every 7 days happens. Every 7 days, what happened? It will be synchronized automatically here. This CUCM contact to the LDAP, and it will be getting the data. Okay. So what you had to do, suppose for an example, any new user you are adding, you have to sync manually. Automatic synchronization 7 days you have. that you can change. This is the default. Now you want to change in weekly or month or hours also, you can be changed. Got it here. Now by default days is there. I'm not changing anything this one. Now I'm selecting perform full sync now. Always I'm synchronizing now this one. Okay. See, cancel sync. It's in synchronization. It's synchronization. It will be contact and get the user. Now you go to the user management, end user, fine. Till we have only 4 users. Still it's synchronizing. Can you see this one? See, even when it is synchronizing there, when the user is coming from the Active Directory to the call manager, automatically you can select the groups also here. Here you select the group, automatically basic group. Users comes and also it will be get select the groups. If you select here this one. The packet capture, yes, you can do it that one, but on the that server packet second. Reachability is there. I'm just checking the Windows firewall. Yes, it's off. Yeah, you can check it out. Ping 142.100.64.51. It's pinging. Still, it's not coming. Maybe some issues we have. Still, it's in synchronizing that one. I'll just pause the video and come back. Now you can see that one. So I'll go back to the Active Directory, the OU. So here we have created Arun Kumar, Babola, Peter Ong, Robert Gordon, Tom Cruise, Wasim Haider, user 1. These are the users we have created. Now all these users I'm getting here now. Arun Kumar, Babola, M. Haider, Peter Ong, Robert Gardner, Tom Cruise, Y. Haider. See, now here you can see enable local user means that you have created manually in the call manager. Active LDAP synchronization means actually this user is coming from the Active Directory. This is how you can see the difference. Okay. So now already user is there here, this one. Now, what's your question? Now, Active Directory is not working. Nothing happened that one. Why? Because already user is got, imported here, right? So already now users are here, this one. Nothing happened. It works. No, login, it goes to the call manager now. Now that authentication, if you have configured, so that is what one more option here. Now here, authentication I have not configured. Okay. If you go to the system, go to the LDAP authentication, we have this one. If you configure this one, again, same option here, use LDAP authentication, again, same name, LDAP password, and the search base if you give. Now, if you enable this one, whenever the user log in, now for the authentication, it goes to the LDAP server, not to the call manager. This authentication, if you have enabled, now I'm not enabling this authentication. That means now user is going to authenticate with call manager only. No, not SSO. SSO is different here. Where the user wants to be authenticated, when the user is logging, username and password is giving, whether that username password has to go to call manager or Active Directory to authenticate. Here, if you have enabled the authentication, in this case, for authentication, it goes to the Active Directory. Other features, it goes to the call manager. Now I'm not authenticating here, enabling. In this case, authentication happen with the call manager only. Okay. So this is how we configure the users in a company. All the users comes. Assigning phone is a different concept. Creating user is different, right? See, again, phone device, phone we are configuring and associating. That is a different option. Yeah, same admission user we can create. Again, no. Again, when you create a bulk administration, it come as a manual user only. Enable local user we have right here. Okay. In enable local user, even with the BAT also, it comes like a same thing. Only the thing, instead of one user, we are creating 10, 50, 100 at the same time. That is the BAT, that's it. In See, synchronization by default 7 days you have. You have created the user now. Then you have to synchronize manually that one. First of all, any issue you have this one, what you are doing the first step? Configuration. When the configuration something user, you will be checking the user is exist or not, right? If the user is not exist, obviously it not work. Then it means what? You have to synchronize. That is the one thing. That means every step is configuration. First step for the troubleshooting is what? Check it out the configuration is good or not. That is the one thing. In the Jabber, you get one issue. Okay, Jabber login issue will be getting. How that Jabber login issue will get it? Generally, what happened? There is a password policy. What is that password policy means? Every few days, maybe 45 days or 60 days, it's a mandatory, the password we have to change. If you go to the company for your laptop, the password policy may be set for the 60 days or 45, depend on the company. Maybe 90 days they have set, however they set. Example, I am the user. Now, after 60 days, I'm changing my password. Myself, I can change the password. Not required as to ask admin here. If I change the password, what happen? It will be updated in my Active Directory also. Okay. But that password is not going to update in the call manager because synchronization 7 days we have. Now, whatever the changes you have done, it has not taken in the call manager in that one. If the authentication is enabled with LDAP, then it works. Because authentication where you are doing? With LDAP, there is an update. Suppose authentication is happening in the call manager, then it will not work. In that case, what happens? User, they are trying with logging to the Jabber. Username they are giving, new password they are giving, it's not logging. Even they are giving the old password, is not logging. Okay, this is the one issue. Always configuration is the first. Okay, so after that synchronization, it works. Got it? So whenever if the user get the login issue, all the configuration is good. Okay, first check it out the configuration. If all the configuration good, check with the user, have you changed the password? Then synchronize this. Got it? So this is how you can be create your usernames. So now we got it all the users. Can you see this one? Okay, if I delete the username, it's going to delete. Okay, let's try that one. I'm deleting one user here. Okay, let me delete this user here. Right click, delete. Deleted here. Okay, now what happened here? Where is that user? M Haidar. This is the user which I have deleted. Find now. Still we have this one. Okay, I'll go to the LDAP. I'll synchronize. Synchronization initiated. I'll pause the video for the some time. It takes some time. Okay, it's done successfully. I'll just go, I'll refresh my end user page here, but still that user is there. Can you see this one? Okay. Now, even if you synchronize immediately, it's not going to delete that. Now you can see this one. It's not, it's in a inactive here, this one. I think 3 synchronization, after that, it's going to delete that one. This is an interview question. 3 times synchronization. Yeah. Immediately it's not going to delete that one. Maybe it happens something over there, something this one. So call manager immediately is not going to delete. It will wait. No, user is not there, right? It's in inactive. Already it's in inactive here. When the inactive, it will not work. Okay. This is the one thing you have to look here. Whenever sometimes what happen? User is there, but they will not look whether it's active or inactive. That is local user, which manually we have created in the call manager. Association is different. Manually within the call manager, if you create that, shows as the enable local user. With the active directory, if it is coming, you get this one, active enable LDAP synchronization. Okay. It will not work because status is what here. If you delete after one synchronization, it's inactive, right? It will not work. Not work. Which one? You have to check it out whether why that you see if the user is inactive here. So we had to ask the customer, are you able to log into the laptop? Okay. If there is something problem in the Active Directory, even the user cannot log into the laptop. That is what we have. It will be removed from here. So this is how you will be create your users. Got it? What is users? How you can be create? How you'll be giving the permissions and everything. That's it about the user management. So any questions, any doubts before we wind up?